and as you've heard, freediving is the sport of diving as deep, as far, or as long as possible on one single breath of air. And this expedition I want to speak to you about did start on an aeroplane, but that's about the only thing it has in common with many of the others we've heard tonight, because it's not an external journey, it's an internal journey, which happens in this place called the Blue Hole, which is in Dahab, and Dahab is a town on the southern side of the Sinai Peninsula. And this Blue Hole is a submarine sinkhole, a aquatic sinkhole that's over 100 meters deep. This is a split level view of the hole. And I want you to now sit very comfortably in your chairs. Sit comfortably and straight. And I want you to take a deep breath and join me on a dive. Now, a lot of people don't know how to take a deep breath, so let me talk you through it. You start by exhaling. So exhale. And then inhale, starting in your stomach. Chest. Shoulders, and hold your breath, and relax. Okay, that's on the way down, diving deep into the Blue Hole. It takes me about 15 kicks to get to a point where my body is heavier than water and I start falling. At this point, I relax. My eyes have been closed the whole dive. I dive the whole way down with my eyes closed, and I just focus on equalizing. As I fall down, a whole lot of things happen in the body. So the journey I want to share with you is an internal one. It's got nothing to do with the heights of mountains or the amazing expanses that our planet offers. It's what's inside of us, which is an adventure in itself. So you're still holding your breaths. That's good. So as we dive, you're not. Come on, people. Try it as I'm talking. It's only 7 minutes. I can hold my breath for 6 minutes. So if you take a big breath now, please hold it to the end of my talk. And that would be like an internal journey for you. So the pictures will just keep going behind me, and I'm not going to worry about them. So when the FEAT one comes, you guys can just do this or something, and I'll know to stop, because they're just cosmetic in the background. So I'll keep talking. Okay, I think I've just used about a minute of my talking time doing that. But the journey inside your body is what interests me. I'm fascinated with what my body's capable of doing. About 50 years ago, researchers told freedivers that if you dive deeper than 50 meters, you will die. Your lungs will get compressed because of the pressure of the ocean, and they will implode, and you will have a pulmonary edema, and you will die. So freedivers thought, okay, well, they actually thought, okay, because they were French. And then they went a little bit deeper. And the researchers said, okay, if you go any deeper, you will die. And they went, merde, and they went deeper. And they kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And today, again, freedivers are pushing the limits of what researchers thought is possible. So how is the human body capable of diving to these depths, of doing these unbelievable things? We have something called a mammalian dive response. Some of you might have heard of that. It's something we share with whales, dolphins, and seals. When we dive, actually the second your face gets submerged in water, your body goes into a diving state that I don't know how. I don't know if you believe in micro, macro evolution or whatever you believe in, but at some point in our lives, we have spent time in water, and our bodies remember water. And the second your face is submerged in water, your heart rate slows down. That's called bradycardia. Brady, slowing down, cardia of the heart rate, and it drops to sometimes half its original rhythm. Okay. Second thing that happens, the blood vessels in your legs and arms constrict, flushing the blood back to your heart to pump it to your brain. You don't need perfectly oxygenated fingers and toes when you're pushing your body to the limits at depth. You just need to keep the oxygen here, and this is called vasoconstriction. Third thing that happens, and I don't know how many of you have ever thought of your spleen. Okay, this is quite a big audience, so I hope that you all still have your spleen. Okay, good. That's very good news, because sometimes doctors tend to very quickly and irrationally remove the spleen when you're in a car accident or similar, and this should have been a hint to what the spleen's capable of doing. The next few images might be disturbing for sensitive viewers, but it is all safe and beautiful, and please enjoy them as I carry on speaking about your spleen, which is this amazing organ. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about my spleen, and if anybody ever tries to take it from me, they'll get a slap. It's an organ around the left side, just above your left kidney, and the reason why researchers started researching around the human spleen was because of seals. Weddell and elephant seals can dive really, really deep on one breath. They can dive up to 1,000 meters, 500 to 1,000 meters, and hold their breath for 15 minutes to hunt fish. Now, seals, like us, sleep on land, give birth to the young on land, and spend a lot of time in water. So I consider myself an honorary seal. And when they did research on these seals to try and see why they were capable of holding their breaths for so long and diving so deep, it turns out they have a spleen the size of a rugby ball. Now, what happens in your spleen and a Weddell and elephant seal spleen is when you free dive, your spleen, which actually essentially is a storage space, it's a warehouse of red blood cells, oxygen-rich red blood cells. And when you dive, your spleen constricts to half its original size and squirts that oxygen-rich blood into your bloodstream, helping you to dive deeper, which is incredible. And the last thing that happens, which is fascinating, is when we're diving, and the doctor said that our lungs would get completely compressed by the pressure, you actually have a blood shift that happens where blood plasma moves from the capillaries around the lungs into the membranes that surround the alveoli, cushioning your lungs so that you can keep going deeper without that pressure injuring your lungs as you're diving. We are created for a life in water in the most spectacular and unbelievable way, which is why I believe this kind of thing is completely safe, yes, and completely fantastic and something that everybody should try, because you have inside of you an aquatic seal that the minute you get into water and you submerge your face wants to wake up and take you into this place that reminds you of you come from water, you belong to water, and you are water.
Are these girls and guys competing at the same level?
No, the reason for it is...
Good question, Max, thank you.
Yes, it is a good question, because it is fascinating with sports where there isn't a differentiation between the male and the female. Like you mentioned horse riding, the equine is definitely one of the main ones. But the reason is, if you look at Max, specimen A, woo! Just stand straight, he has a lot of space for his lungs to fill. If you look at Hanli, specimen B, smaller lung capacity. I've stretched my lungs quite a lot through yoga and stretching and all the freediving training I've done, so I can get quite a lot of, actually 6 liters, which is average for a guy your size, actually. But I can get a lot of air into my lungs, which is fantastic. But guys physiologically have more space for more air, so they do dive deeper than us, clearly because they have bigger lungs.